Hey everyone, Skull902 back here for another part of Donkey Kong Country 3 Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. This is part 2, and in part 2 here we're going to be going through Kremwood Forest. I almost completely fucked up the pronunciation there, but you know, whatever. Fuck it. I've been having troubles with this commentary. I'm just gonna, take it. If it's even slightly good enough, then it's good enough. Why do you guys watch me? So anyway, there's a few things I'd like to talk about in this part here. The first of which being the exposure, I suppose, to this game that I got as a kid. Now, I've told the story plenty of times before about Christmas 2001 when I got my Super Nintendo. Jesus Christ, it's almost 20 years ago now. But, back in the day, what got me into gaming was receiving the Super Nintendo as a Christmas gift. It was a very generous donation that one of my mom's friends sent over for me and my siblings to enjoy. So, I mentioned in plenty of my Mario playthroughs, or all of them really, that I got Super Mario All-Stars Plus World, which is a fantastic way to get into the Mario franchise. I got that. I got, Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures, easily the least of that haul, but hey, it's a Christmas gift, it's free. I got, the Super Nintendo version of Space Invaders, and barring any others that I'm just not remembering at the moment, we also got the Super Nintendo trilogy of Donkey Kong Country, 1, 2, and 3, and as a kid, I played 1 and 2 a fair bit. I really only got to the early worlds because not only, do I suck ass at video games, but it was also at a time when my skills were even less. So, that, and I always just felt like playing Mario on the system. Not that I hated the games, obviously. I still quite enjoyed them, but I was also a little intimidated when it came to Donkey Kong Country 2. But I have some good memories of going through, say, the rainy level, the second level in the first game, or learning the terminology boss in DKC2 when my brother told me what boss meant in video game speak. But as far as number 3 is concerned, I didn't really get to play it a whole lot. In fact, I didn't play it at all before we unfortunately lost the cartridges, in early 2003, I want to say. The only thing that I really remember about it is my brother playing a bonus game in the first world, my older brother, and thinking, green bananas? Well, that's weird. But yeah, that's all the exposure that I got as a kid to the game before we lost it, and that led to some misconceptions that I'll talk about a little bit later. And it wasn't until I started playing games on my grandma's computer where my situation sort of forced itself to where I had to use my grandma's computer if I wanted to do anything online, basically, for the most part. But that's when I started dabbling in the Super Nintendo emulator, because that's where it actually worked. It did not work on my Windows XP computer all that well. And I got my controller and everything, and I downloaded the first 3 games and whatnot. Played 1 up until the second world, but even then I didn't really play 2 or 3 all that much, so my my expertise was still a little lacking. And it wasn't until I did like a challenge series of sorts, not anything for the internet, but just as a funsy thing with Rabbit and Josh, where like I was either trying to beat Super Nintendo games that I already had before in like a certain amount of time, or beat them for the first time ever. And the Donkey Kong Country trilogy was a part of that. And you know, I'm glad that after so long, I did finally get to experience the games, you know, and whatnot. But it is bittersweet because I feel like I missed out. And again, like I said in the first part, I think that this is a good game, and I'll obviously elaborate more as I go on. But you know, just some food for thought, just some background, I guess, on my experience with the game. I figured that it was worth mentioning because I did get it in that Christmas haul nearly 20 years ago now. Good Lord. Where is the time gone? But as we go through this level, where the gimmick is to get rid of all these sneaks here in the wheels, it is very long and laborious, as you'll no doubt see in the footage. Might as well explain the gimmick of the last level, because I kind of ran on for a bit long with my fucking spiel. Riverside Race, that was the first time I ever beat it with a new record on the time, so I was very surprised by that. I really didn't intend on getting the secret there, but since I broke the record, I might as well, you know? Basically, like, you can beat it normally, and it doesn't really affect whether or not you're able to beat the game or anything. It's just, you know, extra stuff for, you know, completion's sake. But, yeah, Riverside Race, you know, one of the Brothers Bear, the first of which I'll be visiting later on in this part, holds the record in that level. And it's just an extra challenge, a side quest, if you will, to beat that record. And I just so happened to do it with exactly 3 seconds left to spare. Again, I really didn't anticipate doing it, especially since I died in the level. I really thought that I was fucked as far as getting that record when I died. But I wasn't. So, you know, that's good. I like that. And it's gonna lead to some nifty secret stuff that I will talk about more when it's relevant. So the next thing that I want to bring up, just, you know, as far as things that I have on the mind here, is this game's setting. You know, each of the Donkey Kong Country trilogy in the Super Nintendo era take place in a different location. In the first game, it was on Donkey Kong Island, home of the Kongs. And then in the second game, it was Crocodile Isle, the home of the Kremlings. Or I should say, former home now, considering. And then here, it's the Northern Kremisphere. And, you know, I was thinking about that. Like, it's fucking called the Northern Kremisphere. And that got me on, like, a big train of thought, which I'm probably gonna sound boring as fuck doing this, but it brought me back to my little brother's Kongs are the real enemy theory. For those of you who don't know, when I was recording the commentary for the first Donkey Kong Country, my little brother overheard me, you know, just talking about the game and shit. And after I was done with the recording session, he called me over and was telling me about all these ideas that he had about the Kongs being the enemies and whatnot. And he brought up some solid points and gave it a backstory and everything. Basically, his backstory was that at some point before the first game, there were these starving, emaciated Kremling refugees, as he put it, who got stranded. They were lost on Donkey Kong Island, and like all they wanted was some assistance and some food. Like that's all they wanted, was just to go back home safe and sound. But unfortunately, the Kongs decided to greet them with murder. They killed the starving Kremling refugees, and that's why K. Rool went out of his way once he heard the news to go and steal the Banana Horde and start this perpetual war with the Kongs. So that was his theory, and I forget a lot of the other points that he brought up, but even in DKC2, there's like some material that you could use in that game to bring up a point about, are the Kongs the actual enemies? There are counterpoints too, of course. I have to be fair and objective and bring that up, but some things like the Kongs took out the Queenzinger in the first game. They took out the king in the second game. They raided the fucking hives of the zingers in the second game, and you've seen them in this game. There are no organic zingers. They're all mechanical. They're buzzes in this game. So like they just completely fucking wiped them out. Also, this is, just as a quick aside, this is Swanky's sideshow. It's a bunch of like throwing target games, and I lose every single one of these that I try. Not because like I'm trying to beat Cranky. Like I give it a shot, right? But I'm really just practicing for something that comes up later in the game. So it's good to do some practice and whatnot. I figured that I should do it with these little things, and it's good to show it off too. So yeah, but the thing about DKC2 with its hints, there was also like in the manual, the description for Crazy Kremland. Ironic that I mentioned that while we're in like a sideshow tent playing a carnival game, but the description for it is that like all the rides are broken down and the track is shitty. And I speculated in the commentary for that game that perhaps those who wrote the manual were paid off by the Kongs, and it's Kong propaganda, if you will, against the Kremlings. This is so fucking silly. But, and in the extra ending, like the true ending, the secret ending, whatever you want to call it, they fucking sink Crocodile Isle. Like, that is the Kremling's home, or it was, until the Kongs just fucking sink the island. They took out the power source and everything. Like, for all intents and purposes, their mission was done there, Was it 100% necessary to take out the core and sink the island? Just raises an eyebrow, So there are plenty of hints that the Kongs are the bad guys. And again, like I said, there are some counterpoints. There's definitely some material that you could use to point out that they're, the heroes. But there's just some interesting things here, and I think that it's added to with this game, in that this location, the Northern Kremisphere. It's called the Northern Kremisphere. We're in a place right now called Kremwood Forest. The lost world of this game is called Krematoa. It's all got Krem at the beginning. So, one could assume that this was a secondary home, or like origin place or something for the Kremlings. Like, could this also be their rightful land? And whatnot. Could the banana birds, and the banana queen specifically, that we'll be seeing later on, Could they have hired the Kongs as muscle to force the Kremlings out of yet another home? Goodness gracious, but I don't know why. I don't know why I find it so amusing that there's a material in all 3 games. Or maybe not so much the first one, but there's material in these games that could be used to give you a fairly strong argument that the Kongs are in fact the antagonists. We're playing as the antagonists, if that's what you choose to believe. I don't know, it's just kind of weird. So yeah. Next thing that I want to bring up, you see this enemy on screen that I decided not to kill. His name is Bristles. And I find him amusing. Because, you know, I mentioned Clement's LP of this game that is unfortunately no longer around in the last part. And, you know, he's red. He's got the spikes and everything. They constantly referred to him as Knuckles, and you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna refer to him as Knuckles too. The manual describes him as a hedgehog, and considering that and the name, I have to imagine that he is like a parody of the Sonic franchise, and that's the second time that Rare's done that in the series with the enemies. Everybody knows about Sonic Shoes in Cranky's Hall of Heroes or whatever it's called. I'm gonna have to look that up. I didn't remember that in the first game either. But you know, like there's also Cat o' Nine Tails in DKC2. You know, he was blue, spiky, he had a tan patch on his belly and on his face, and whatnot. So, Rare really taking these shots, but you know, that's just the way it was in the 90s. You had to take your shots and whatnot. Good lord. Brash is very mad. He did not take that very sportsmanlike at all. I also like how he's using the fucking critter noise for that one. Good lord. But yeah, just again, like some interesting material in these games. But that log that Brash dropped there is like, it's gonna lead to a secret cave, and secret caves are something, again, it's more so like a completion requirement. Like if you want to get you know, the secret ending, then you're gonna have to you know, do a whole bunch of side quests. This is one of them, with Brash's record in this world. Like, so I mentioned the banana birds, and the secret caves are basically like free the banana birds, because, you know, they've been crystallized in these caves, and it's basically like a game of Simon. You know, if anyone's familiar with that, you know, you just gotta watch out for the colors that light up, and then, you know, follow what it says. The more banana birds that you have, the more complicated and long. Basically, the more long. I have no idea how to fucking phrase this. The longer the combination that you have to match is. So I think they start off with just 4 commands, and then it turns to like 5 and 6, and I don't think it gets any higher than 7, but I could be wrong about that. There's like 10, 15 or so of these things hidden around the level, or the game, I should say. So yeah, just some interesting side content here. Here in this level, we're seeing Ellie's new ability, that is to shoot water. and whatnot. I think that it's actually a pretty cool mechanic. I kind of like it. It is a bit slow, but, you know, you just fill up by holding L and R at the same time, and then you use Y, the run button, to shoot, and you can shoot high by holding up, which I'm really trying to do with this guy, but doesn't seem to be working out so well. But yeah, just, you know, an interesting mechanic, I think, to, you know, help Ellie differentiate from the other animal buddies in this game. Again, I think that, like, she isn't so much like a great replacement for Rambi, so much as she's just a good animal buddy. I feel, you know, this is one of the things that that people like to complain about. But I think that Ellie has her place among the Donkey Kong Country animal buddy ranks and whatnot. So yeah, good shit. Good shit. I don't have time anymore to talk about one of the other things that I wanted to discuss, so again, here's RX Horde, or Arik, or I don't know how the fuck you pronounce his name. You know, hint, he's a giant spider. And it's exactly like I said, it's a game of Simon to free one of the banana birds, and we'll see her at the end. Wrinkly, we'll see her, and she'll have a banana bird floating around in the save cave. So this is Arik. He's a giant spider boss, like I mentioned earlier. Bounces around, and you gotta hit him from the underside with a barrel. They give the first one to you. You know, it's right on his back, and then you gotta start going up to the ledge in order to get it. So after the first couple of hits, he's going to start doing this, and you know, the first one's pretty avoidable, and I think that he does it again, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he does that pattern again. So he'll do this once or twice more. Twice more, actually. He shoots out more of these pellets. But honestly, if you stay in the right corner on the first one, and the left corner on the second one, you should be okay. Losing Dixie in this is kind of a pain in the ass because it's almost impossible to do with Kiddy. But, you know, if you just follow it the way that I did, then, you know, you should be all good to go, and whatnot. That's Arik down. I'm gonna call him Arik. You know, I could visit Blunder, but, oh, I guess I'll do that now. I don't buy anything from him, though. Or whatever. I don't do his side quest at the moment. I'll save that for the extra part. The first extra part. But, you know, Arik spit out a bandage. So let's go over to Funky and see if he can do anything with that bandage. Indeed he can. So, again, like I said, Funky can give you, you know, upgrades to the boat. So instead of just a motorboat, now you have a hovercraft, which will enable you to go over rocks. You couldn't do that in the motorboat. And that will give us access to... you know, the next two worlds here. You have a choice between these two worlds, which I think is fucking fantastic and whatnot. So, yeah. I guess we won't see Wrinkly now. We'll see her in the next part. But until then, I have been Skull902. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.